बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। नूर मौलाना शाह करीम हुसैनी हाजिमान तौफीक ताईद हिम्मत व यारी मौला मुश्किल कुशा मेहरबान मौला help us मौला we are very poor in knowledge मौला we seek your mercy मौला we seek your help मौला या मौला मेहरबान मदद फरमा मदद फरमा मदद फरमा once again ya Ali Madad to all friends.
like that.
All right. So today we are going to have our class 1 about recognition of Imam. You all did receive the class objectives. First, we always start with zikr, and we try to do zikr before 7:30. So I would love you to join earlier, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Join early. And Naveen Sahaba usually does text everybody that she started to do zikr. So it's a good idea always to start with zikr of Imam, remembrance of Imam. Then we will review last class. If you have any questions or any comments, we can always review that. And then we will read Farman in every class. And then we will review Quranic references. So in reality, this will be our format of our class, inshallah, from now onwards. So do remember that this is what we will be doing. You will receive class objectives for the next class, but after that, you will just receive what Quranic references, inshallah, we will be discussing. Now you do see asterisk here and you don't see any asterisk here. The reason is that we are now going to study references of Imam in Quran. There are 12 references of Imam in Quran, and then we will be studying supporting references to understand the references which has the word Imam in it. You can call them indirect references, and then this is a direct reference. So Naveen Sahaba will share a list, a table, which talks about all the 12 references of Imam in Quran, and it also has a column for focus point. And I invite you all to actually work on that list, which right now has only 12 references. Each reference will have a column which would say it is a direct reference or indirect reference. So for us, it is important to realize that what are the references which are direct, meaning mentioning Imam in the Quran, and then there are those which we learned to understand those references which mention Imam in Quran. So I hope that you will get that list today only. And I invite you all to actually keep on adding to that list. Each group is different and each group needs are different. Depending on your needs, your feedback, your questions, there will be verses which are added to help you understand the references of Imam in the Quran. That is why I'm not sharing the list which we had from the last group, because every group is different. Therefore, those of you who are tech savvy, I would like them to continue to update that list of references. You can add a column of date to which date we studied which references, and you can keep sharing on the group, and that will benefit all of us. So that was briefly about course objectives. This is the course of Imam Shanasi. We do have the knowledge of Ginan and Farman. However, we have not studied Quran, and that is why our focus will be Quran. But time to time we will have Gnanic references to help us continue to connect that how our Pir Mai Bap were teaching us actually the talimat of Quran without us knowing that it was from Quran. And that is one of the reasons that many of us think that they do not know Quran. If you have positive attitude, continue to be learning, opening up the Quran, study it, make notes, listen carefully, re-listen. And after that, if you feel that you still are not able to overcome your fear, because there are few in your group who have shared that with me, that it is difficult, I would encourage you to text in the group or to text to the resource people. There are friends who are joining this group from the previous groups who have studied these references in great detail, and they are willing to give time to you to help you understand these verses. You will have to take that initiative to reach out to Naveen Sahiba, and she can connect you to those friends who are dedicated to help each other. They are willing to give time individually or in groups of few members. You can discuss and kind of review the whole session with them and be open with your fears. It is okay. We are scared, and that's okay. That's normal because we don't know this. Until we do not take that first step of asking questions that I don't know and I need to be reviewing it more, there are friends who can help you to review it. So please do not hesitate and reach out. I do would like you to keep your cameras on so I can see you all. And when I see doubt or on your face that you're not getting it, then I can repeat it. I know some of you just cannot because of the old phone or whatnot, but try. It is an interactive class. I would like to see you all so we can continue to connect better and discuss what we need to learn. Alhamdulillah. So this is the Farman Mubarak of Maulana Shah Karim. If you can see it, why don't you, one of you can read, please?
I will read. Shall I read, Niamat Sahaba?
Ji, Bismillah.
Bismillah. Farman Mubarak, Maulana Hazir Imam, Salgira Irshad Karachi, 13 December 1964. For hundreds of years, the rope of Imamat has guided my spiritual children. You have looked to the Imam of the age for advice and help in all matters, and through your Imam's immense love and affection for his spiritual children, his Noor has indicated to you where and in which direction you must turn so as to obtain spiritual and worldly satisfaction. During the next generations, you will be living in a world of increasing material plenty of the voluminous material activity, and where a large part of man's intelligence and thought will be devoted to providing material benefits to you. In the minds of some, there may be one day some confusion as to the meaning and necessity for faith. And if my spiritual children were ever to manage their lives in such a way as to come to believe that their minds create rather than having been created, and their and that their material comfort is such that spiritual humility is no longer warranted. I can tell you now that the true and real happiness, which I pray it should be your blessing to experience, will never. Then the last few words, it's blocked by something. I can't read.
Thank you. That's okay.
Will never
You did
touch your
wonderful.
hearts.
Yes. Subhanallah.
This was
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So Imam says that the real and true happiness which all of us seek will never touch our hearts if we do not have that spiritual humility. Humility is a very important lesson for us as a Smiley Jamaat. Humility is very, very important. It is rather more important for us being here because we are those who call ourselves now seekers, students, mustajib. Those who say that they are mustajib, they have to have that humility to be able to learn. In this journey, the journey starts with one becoming mustajib. And then by saying just that I am willing to learn, meaning I'm willing to take upon myself that I will stay committed, I will learn, I will study, I will open up the books, write notes, attendance be there. All these are part of one saying that I am willing to learn, I am humble. Along with that comes commitment. So, humility in reality is a very huge umbrella. One can say that, yes, Mala Bapa, I do want Isme Azam because it is the Isme Azam which is the key to true happiness. But seeking that key, Isme Azam, Imam says, sit in humility. If you do not sit in humility, there is no way you can find that lock where this key sits and enter into the house of Noor. Meaning, anyone can, in today's time, with Imam's immense mercy, says that they want to get Isma Azam, they can get it. But if they are not humble, meaning saying that they do not know how to progress spiritually, but they will stay humble, they will continue to wake up, sacrifice their sleep, sit in bandagi, so they can come close to the Noor of Mawla. Despite of they see any Noor or not, they are willing to sacrifice. When we understand that and we are able to apply that principle of humility, I hope that we understand today that when we call ourselves mustajib, mustajib is the one who is seeking spiritual knowledge. We are not here to have any material knowledge or get any material degrees or certificate. This is all we are doing for our ruhaniyat, for our spiritual upliftment. And a spiritual upliftment can only come when there is a humility. So remember that humility does not mean only to call ourselves nothing or nachi. It requires us to be committed, willing to do what is asked to be done, and do more than that. When we are doing that, then only we will realize what is the meaning and the necessity of the faith. We will never understand what is the meaning of Iman if we don't have the knowledge. Yes, we are being created, the whole universe is in front of us, and we all are living comfortably. Is that all to our creation, to our coming to this world, or is there more? All those questions which we had all our lives will be answered at the level of knowledge. For that, we do need to become humble. Humility also encompasses purity of thoughts, purity of our deeds. All those are basic concepts, basic principles which we do need to have. If our hearts are not centered and not pure, there's no intention of purification, we may attend classes, we may get knowledge, but we will not go further because we have not understood the deeper meaning of humility. Imam says that we are continue to live in the life, the world is such that it is all about physical world, physical development. Everything is focused on how can we make our physical life convenient. All our intelligence are focused on providing us material benefits. But there are very select few who are able to detach themselves from the worldly comfort, worldly desires, and connect to wanting to connect to Imam at the level of spirituality. Physically, we all are connected. We are blessed with Didar and we are blessed with Isma Azam, still at a physical level. And our life is not only physical, it is physical, spiritual, and intellectual. In order for us to uplift ourselves in spirituality, we do need to seek knowledge. So we have that intelligence which connects us to spirituality, helps us to understand what is His nur indicating to me, which direction do I need to go. Imam's love and affection is always with us. Why some are here and others are not? There are very few who pay attention to it, that how Imam is helping us guide, be guided, and seek that knowledge. Remember this farman. This farman is so crucial. Maulana Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Maula says it is only the soul who has the knowledge will elevate step by step. So if we are here seeking spiritual upliftment, spiritual humility, spiritual progress, the condition, the criteria is that we seek knowledge step by step. So Alhamdulillah, I would say Mubarakbad to you all that you are here committed, on time, willing to do what it requires to learn this knowledge step by step so we can have spiritual humility in our being and become close to the nur of the Imam. So the next verse, chapter 3, verse 103, Surah Ale Imran. This is the verse which we were given during Silver Jubilee. This is the verse which Imam gave us to say it in Jamaat Khana during Silver Jubilee. The logo had this verse in Silver Jubilee. And Imam is talking about the Farman which we studied. It says, for hundreds of years, the rope of Imamat has guided. Which is the rope of Imamat? Where is the rope mentioned? It is actually from chapter 3, verse 103. And the translation says, and hold fast all together by the rope of Allah. Rope of Allah. And be divided among yourselves. And remember with gratitude Allah's favor on you. Remember with gratitude Allah's favor on you. For you were enemies, and He joined your hearts in love, so that by His grace you became brethren. And you were on the brink of the pit of fire, and He saved you from it. Thus, Allah makes His sign clear to you, that you may be guided. Now, when we read that Quranic verse, tell me, did Imam not talk about this Quranic verse? For hundreds of years, the rope of Imamat has guided my spiritual children. You have looked to Imam of the age for advice and help in all matters. Through your Imam's immense love and affection for his spiritual children, his nur has indicated to you where and which direction you must turn so as to obtain spiritual and worldly satisfaction. In Silver Jubilee, Imam gave us this Quranic verse to reflect upon, to understand. अल्लाह ताला की रस्सी को सब मजबूती से पकड़े रहो. Hold fast and do not be divided. Now, when we hear this word, do not be divided, first impression which may come into our heart, okay, smiley and non-smiley. Yes, you are absolutely correct that this knowledge, this talimat was given to us. Quran was revealed to humanity in 1400 years ago. Quran was revealed 1400 years ago. And Prophet Muhammad gave talimat at that time. Those who were Christians at that time, after Hazrat Isa alayhi salam, Paigambar Muhammad, when he came, all the Christians said, oh no, we have talimat of Hazrat Isa alayhi salam. We do not want your book or your talimat. We are comfortable where we are. We have all the knowledge, we have our rituals, and we'll follow that. And Paigambar told them that I come with the knowledge, with the word of God, and I am the prophet of this time. People refused him. That is the habit of people. People like comfort. Where they are, they want to be there. Why? Because it doesn't require them to come out of the comfort zone, to work hard, to learn. All that requires hard work. Anyone who is not willing to do hard work, they will like to stay in comfort zone and stay comfortable. And that's exactly what is done by people in every point in time. After Prophet Muhammad, at the Gadir Khum, when the Paigambar announced that after me, I am nominating Maula Ali, my cousin brother, to be your Imam. How many accepted him? Maula Ali says there were not even 40 people, not even 40 people that I could have announced my Imamat. And in Silver Jubilee, Hazri Imam gives us this Quranic verse that do not be divided among yourselves. To Smiley Jamaat, to study this verse, to reflect on this verse. Why? Why? What is happening today? We are in the changing times. Those who will not hold on to the rope of Allah, which is the Imam, Imam in today's time, those who will not hold on to an Imam who is the Imam of the time, there is a possibility that they will be divided. Those who hold on to the rope will not be divided. Those who will hold on to Imam, they will not be divided. And then it says, remember with gratitude. The word remembrance, remember we talked about it, it's zikr, it's yadgiri. But with gratitude. Allah's favor upon you. He has sent us favors. If you were to look at the transliteration, وَأَتَّصِمُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ جَمِيعًا وَلَا تَفَرَّقُوا, and after that, you'll find a word ni'mat, ni'matuhu. That word means favor. Divine grace, divine favor comes upon only those who walk on the Sirat al-Mustaqim, who hold on to the rope of Allah. ये रहमत उन्हीं पे आती है जो इमाम की रस्सी को मजबूती से पकड़ के रखते हैं, अपने दिल में शक नहीं लाते हैं, जिन्होंने पैगंबर के ज़माने में अपने आप को रोका और कहा कि हम तो हज़रत ईसा की तालीमात के साथ खुश हैं, पैगंबर को नहीं माना। फिर जिन्होंने पैगंबर को माना, उनमें से कुछ ने मौला अली को नहीं माना। And then we do know Nizari Ismailis, and we have so many divisions, even in our Shiane Ali, those who became Shia, following Maula Ali, even in them there are so many branches. Today, only the Smiley Nizari Smiley Jamaat is the one who is connected to the living Imam Nur Maulana Shah Karim Hussain Azimam Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Those who are connected to that rope of Imamat, they are the only ones who will receive the divine grace. Listen to me carefully. They are the only ones who will receive the divine grace. Why? Because they will remember, they will hold on to the rope and they will remember Allah with gratitude. And Allah says that you were enemies and He joined your hearts in love. Those who hold on to rope, they are in affection of Imam, they are being told to purify their heart, become brothers and sisters. And then His grace comes upon us. Otherwise, without Imam Shanasi, there's a hadith by Prophet, those who have not recognized the Imam, they have died the death of an ignorant, and ignorant will be in the hellfire. Ignorant will be in the hellfire. So those who do not have recognition of Imam, they are away from the Nur. And Allah says that I have left very many signs so you can be guided. So you can be guided. Now we need to reflect when we read rope of Allah. What is this rope? How strong it is? How long would it be? And it will be there till eternity. It is an eternal rope. This rope actually means the chain of the light of the prophets and Imam. This rope in reality means the chain of the light of prophets and Imam, which has actually started from the time of Hazrat Adam alayhi salam. Because this Deen Haq, this true religion, has never stopped. People stopped, people labeled, people did whatever. But in reality, it is one and the same Noor which is continuous. If you were to look at the Arabic transliteration, it says, Hablillah, the rope of Allah. What is this rope? Yes, this rope is the chain of the light of prophets and Imam, but what is another ta'wil of it? Another ta'wil would be that this rope is the light of intellect. It is the light of intellect, which is the fountainhead of knowledge and guidance. Sarchashma ilm and hidayat. इमाम ही वो जरिया है जिससे हमें हिदायत और इल्म मिलता है. So it is the light of intellect, but this light, where is it coming from? It is coming from the Imam. Imam is that fountainhead. Our intellect is called partial intellect, needy intellect. In Urdu, the proper term is akle garizi. Garizi means from girds, the one who is in need. In Urdu we say हमको तो गर्ज है इसलिए वहां जाना है, right? Akle garizi, needy intellect. Whereas Imam is the perfect man with perfect intellect, complete intellect. We are in need of his intellect to guide us. He is our Hadi. So this is the light of intellect. This rope is the light of intellect. How does he guide us? In the form of the Quran and the light of the Imamat. Through Imam we have Farman, and through Imam these are appointed, and then we have Ginan. It is all one and the same thing. So when we think of this rope, what is this rope? The rope can also be this book, Quran itself. This is another understanding, another ta'wil. The rope is Quran. Why Quran and not Imam? Because Prophet said it very clearly that the Ali and the Quran will never be separated. Will never be separated. So those who are with the Quran with Imam, They are with the light of intellect. They are with that chain. But then there are people who has divided. Divided what? Separated the Quran and Ali from it. They'll follow the Quran but not Ali. It is only the Ismaili Jamaat. It is only the blessed, favored Ismaili Jamaat who say, we believe in Imam, we believe in Quran. And they both are together and they'll never be separated. So it is that light of intellect, which is the rope of Allah given to us. It will never be separated. When we talk of the Noor in the book and Imam, actually it is one and the same. But for us to be able to receive that Noor in our spirituality, our body, our physical body is a barrier. That barrier needs guidance, ilm, to transform itself, to elevate in spirituality, to have that communication and the understanding. And that is why we need knowledge to go beyond our body, to get into the spirituality, the realm of spirituality. And it is possible. But we got to know and understand that we have to overcome that barrier. How do we do that? By seeking knowledge. Because the first step is ilmul yaqeen. Another example for us to understand this rope of imamat. The way when we come to physical world, we do need mother and the father. No one can come to this world without parents. Similarly, when we want to elevate in spirituality, when we are talking about deen, we need our parents. And do you know who are our parents? There is a hadith by Prophet Muhammad. He says that Ali and I are the parents of Ummah. Ali and I are the parents of Ummah. So Prophet in his time was the father and Maula Ali was the mother. It is the same chain of light of Imamat which is in Shakarim. And today it is not the time of prophethood. It is a time of only Imamat. So we don't see any Nasik. But it is the same Nur, same continuation of the Nur. So there is no separation. Prophet and Imam are the spiritual parents. We all have our physical parents, but then we have our spiritual parents. And today we would understand why Imam says, my beloved spiritual children, because these are spiritual mother and father. Paigambar Muhammad, at that time, he was the first Peer, and Maula Ali was the first Imam. Today, Piratan is merged in Imam. And that is why he sends us, my Imam says, my maternal, paternal, loving blessings to my beloved spiritual children. He is our mother and father. So I hope that you are understanding how Paigambar and Imam is one and the same. How Quran and Imam is one and the same. How Ginan and Farman with Quran is one and the same. It is that same Hidayat. Then we have three verses in front of us. Chapter Surah Al Imran, chapter 3, verse 104. 104. Let there arise out of you a band of people inviting all that is good, enjoining what is right, and forbidding what is wrong. They are the ones to attain felicity. तुम्हें से एक ऐसी जमात होनी चाहिए जो भलाई की तरफ बुलाए. There is a whole humanity, but then Allah says that there has to be a band, a group of people, a nation of people, a band of people. I don't have my Quran today with me, but if you can look into your Quran and see in your Quran what word they have used, because different translators have used different words. So when it says, let there arise out of you a band of people. In Urdu it says, ek jamaat aisi honi chahiye. So it's not talking about humanity. Within the humanity there will be a group of people. In Urdu it says jamaat. Those are the ones who will be inviting people to do good. and joining what is right, हक की तरफ, सीधे रास्ते की तरफ, and then forbidding what is wrong, गलत से रोकना. That Jamaat is the only Jamaat who will receive falah, felicity. And if I take it, this word to Imam's words, Imam would say, Azadi mein pahunchoge. Because Azadi is falah. Felicity is the salvation. They are the ones who will reach to salvation. Because they are the ones who are on the right path, who are doing the right things, they're accepting the hidayat and stopping us from the doing bad deeds. So here, this Jamaat first refers to the Imam in the humanity, that Nurani family, Imam of the time who is guiding the people. But then Imam also has his slaves, his murid. Those who walk on the path, follow the Imam's parameen, they can also become those who guide others to call them, to invite them towards Dawat-e-Haq. And remember, our Dais, our Hujjatan used to do that, but it is no more allowed. That privilege has been taken away. Nobody can come to Ismaili Tariqa. The Dawat has been stopped. The Dawat has been stopped. 600 years ago, the Dawat was going on, and that's how Pir Sadaruddin went from Iran to India and converted people to Ismaili Tariqa. But that Dawat is no more open. It is only through marriage. Those are the Jamaat, the band of people who will invite people to good, and they are the ones who are taken to salvation. So we talked about two different meanings here, two different taweels of this word. And I hope you all are with me. Then it says in verses 105 to 106, be not like those who are divided among themselves and fall into disputations after receiving clear signs. Clear signs. For them is a dreadful penalty. Now, when we read Quranic verses like that, sometimes people really get scared because hell is scary. And people started to wonder that, is Khuda zalim? Is he cruel that he's going to punish us like that? It doesn't mean in that way. In reality, I must tell you that when the day of judgment will come, everybody will be invited. Everybody will be invited to accept the Dawat-e-Haq. But those who do not accept, those who refuse, they, with their own free will, with their own intention, has refused to continue with the chain of the light of Imamat. When they do that, at the day of Qiyamah, when everybody's batni eyes are opened up, they will be able to see who is the Nur, who is sitting on the throne, and it will be Imam. And those who will have the recognition of Imam, they will be with Imam. And others will be far away, away from Imam, very far away. But their batni eyes are opened up. So what they will be realizing in their heart? Only being ashamed, only sorrow that I wish I had done that riyazat or ibadat. I had accepted the Dawat-e-Haq invitation. And at that time, they'll be telling the Mu'mineen, can you share from your light, please? I was your neighbor. I lived in your community. We went to same school, or we were working at the same place. Can you please share your light with me? We went to same Jamaat Khana. And they will be told, go back, return back to where you had stopped the light. To go back where you had stopped the light. And that time, that will pierce their heart with pain, sorrow, regret, regret, regret. But there is no more free will to make that choice to be able to recognize the Imam, become one with the Nur. Now, those who are on the path of recognition, they are on the path. They will be closer to Imam. And then there'll be those who have fana themselves, merged with Imam. They'll be really with Imam. There's a beautiful dua, I must tell you, in Surah Hadid about Asiya, the mother of Hazrat Musa alayhi salam, the one who was the wife of Firaun, not his biological mother, but she was elevated Momina. And she says, she says this dua, and it is mentioned in Quran. She says, "Oh Allah, give me a house near you. Let me be having a house near you." What does that mean? She was so elevated and so intelligent with the knowledge that she was seeking to be merged with him. But her dua doesn't say it like that. It is not clear that give me salvation, give me fana. She says that let me have the house near you. But she was asking for salvation, and this was her dua. Meaning, in the day of Qiyamah, everybody is there. There are those who are with Imam. Then there are those who are a little bit further, and then very, very far. But everybody is in the recognition of Imam. Nobody has no darkness. Everybody is knowing who Imam is. But there is no free will that they can walk towards Imam. The riyazat, the ibadat, the seeking of true knowledge has to be done when we have physical body, then we have the free will to seek that knowledge. So, in other words, whenever Qiyamah is mentioned, this penalty is mentioned, there is very many layers of tawilat. Remember, there are 7,700 tawilat. So do not take these words literally. Allah Himself says He is Rahman and Rahim. He is Ghafoor, He is forgiving. But all these attributions can work for those who are seeking rahmat willingly, who are seeking forgiveness willingly. That attribution will help them. Those who are not seeking these attributions, they will be only with regret, regret, and regret. Then in the next verse it says, but those whose faces will be white, they will be in Allah's mercy, therein to dwell. I hope you notice that I'm skipping the brackets here. We skip the brackets in Quran when we're reading the translation because these are the words which are added by translators. There are problems with the translation itself. That's another thing. But when they add brackets, we do not need to read that. So in this verse, 107, Surah Al Imran, it says that there will be those whose faces will be white. And they will be with the mercy, with the rahmat of Allah. And they will always live in that rahmat. All of you know this verse. Let me show you how. Through this farman of Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah. I hope we are reading the farmans of Imam. This farman Imam gave to us in 1900 at Hyderabad, Sindh, 26th February. Imam says, I show you a right path. One who feels good, he may follow or not. The value of my farman will be known to you in hereafter. But you don't value in the world. It will be known in hereafter. On the whole, there the black-faced and white-faced will be visible. Now, white-faced are those who are with the Nur, who are with the recognition of Imam. They are white-faced. The black-faced will exclaim, it will be better if we have committed virtuous deeds. The foremost task for the believer is to forsake the animal state. The animal state is worse. जानवर पना छोड़ दो. जानवरपना, being the slave of the carnal soul, नफसानी ख्वाहिशात के गुलाम, दुनिया की ख्वाहिशात के अंदर, दुनिया की चीजों की ख्वाहिश के अंदर, those are slaves to the animal soul in themselves, जो दुनिया की चाहत में रहते हैं. Imam says, this and that will never be one. This meaning those who are living life in the worldly love, in the animal state, and that is the one who seeks elevation, higher understanding, advanced knowledge, recognition of Imam. This and that cannot be the same, will never be the same. So white face and black face cannot be the same. They are different. So these are the black-faced people who will realize, and their regret will be shown as if they are black-faced. Understand this. Sometimes in the physical world, when we make a mistake, for example, somebody gets angry. In anger, there's no control, because when we are angry, meaning we are overpowered by animal soul. When we are overpowered by animal soul, what we say, it's all animalistic. After that anger, when we are dealing with the consequences, we are in sorrow, we feel very bad, what we did was wrong. There's only regret, regret, and regret. But whatever was spoken in that state of mind, it cannot be returned. Maula Ali says the one who gets angry, गुस्सा हिमाकत से शुरू होकर निदामत पे खत्म होता है. He says that anger starts with stupidity, with stupidity and ends at regret. Anger is not an attribution of a moment. Patience is an attribution of a moment. So those who get angry, they don't realize that the animal soul overpowered them. And they immediately came out from the army of the Imam and they became friends of Shaitan. When we understand that regret, we may go and say sorry. We feel bad. That regret at that time, that is what we can multiply it, magnify it millions of times. But there is no way to say sorry. It's too late. The time has passed. The life is gone. Man ka janam ratan so kahe ko khota hai. This is what it means. The breaths which we've been given, those are valuable breaths. We cannot waste our time in this physical world. We have come with a purpose. Yes, with the physical body, we do need to seek worldly knowledge. We do have to have our family duties and families and whatnot. That is a test which has been put upon a moment to do all that. With that, can you do this? Because we are smileys. We are those who are most favored. We are in divine grace category. We are the spiritual children with a mother and father who is Imam of the time. So let me end here. We will continue this discussion. We need to go into details, so we do have very strong foundation. And inshallah, next week we will start with the first reference of Imam 16 by 120. So today, in reality, what we did was all indirect reference or supporting references of Imam in Quran, because it will all gel. What we talked about, it will all gel together. So we will have to continue to reflect to gel it together, that how is it one thing we are talking about. Ji.
Subhanallah, subhanallah. There's a one question from the beginning part. How do we have humility and be humble since ego runs faster sometimes?
It is difficult. I agree with you. I agree with you. It is a constant test on a moment. And it is a very important question you ask, because Imam says that Baitul Khayal, it's the first and the most important criteria is humility, that we need to sit in humility. If we are strong and powerful and we wake up from our sleep, we are good at sacrifice and do that. But if we don't have humility, there is no benefit actually. So humility is very, very important. How can you get humility? The first way, the first way is actually through remembrance, through doing zikr. Some of you who joined the group from Jamaat Khana Shanasi when we started it a few months ago, actually, 6 months ago around, we did 40 days intention. And those 40 zikr were explained in great detail to help us realize that how do we use those askar. Zikr is one tasbih, askar is a plural word. So zikr and askar, multiple zikr. We need to be having this habit of doing this zikr, uh, askar in abundance. Without riyazgiri, without remembrance during the daytime, it is not possible. It is not possible to have humility. Deen has to be part of us in 24 hours. It cannot be that we enter and we come out of it. No. So humility starts if we are someone who is dealing with issues with ego, then the first thing is that submit in humility by doing zikr. And if you listen to those recordings, there is a demonstration on how to do those zikr. With explanation, there is a demonstration on how to do those zikr, and that demonstration is actually Giriya supplication. How to beseech ourselves in the court of Imam to say that I am nothing, to become, to literally bring these words out so we can listen and it goes inside our head. We are nothing. It is only the Imam who is everything. So zikr is a very important practice. When the zikr is done in abundance, inshallah, Giriya Uzari will come easy. And when the zikr and ibadat is done with Giriya Uzari, it brings humility. It brings humility. So those of you who actually join late and they do not know about this zikr, you can ask Naveen Sahaba, you can request her individually, or Naveen Sahaba can decide to start posting it again in the group. So those who had not heard it, please listen to those zikr. And we should start from before Chandrat. If you can do that, so we can do that and do the zikr together as a group. And believe me, if you listen to those recordings, because those recordings were miraculous. It was the beginning time of COVID, and we were all going through very strange phase of our life. And there were friends who joined, and we did it together online, those classes virtually. And there are very many friends who have really benefited with Maula's mercy. And I truly believe if you listen carefully and understand that demonstration and practice that, it will become easy. That's the first step. Zikr in abundance. And remember, we talked about zikr is individual, zikr is with jamaat, zikr is with tongue, zikr is inside you. All those types of zikr we do need to practice. During the daytime, when you're alone, say it loudly so you can hear it. When we hear it, it goes inside us. Don't do it just in heart. But when we are working with people, do it in heart. But do it loudly so you can hear it. Because what happens, it is all our senses which are perceiving the worldly things. And somehow we have perceived that we are somebody due to wherever we are in our lives, whatever circumstances. And that somebody now, I, the ego, has to listen. You are nobody. You are nobody. And when you do that, it will become easier. So if you follow that first step, believe me, after 40 days, if you truly stay united with that intention, you will experience humility in your heart.
Anisaba, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I didn't get that word. Atkar, did you say Atkar?
Yeah, so
Zikr and Atkar?
let me spell actually. So
Yes,
zikr,
please.
you know, Zikr,
Yeah.
askar would be capital A, a Zkar, Azkar.
Asgar, okay. Askar is a Kar.
R, yes.
I'm sorry, what does that mean?
It's meaning multiple zikr. It's a plural of
Oh, right,
zikr.
the plural of zikr. Okay. Askar, okay. Thank you.
Shukran, Mawla. So I did receive Shamin's message here, and she's saying, can we do Giryazari together or text us the previous tapes, please? So yes, I think there are new people in the group. So let us start with listening to those audios, and inshallah, sometimes we do get together on Saturdays and do zikr in the evening. Uh, because some group, like your group, it is difficult to do zikr because before your class, there's another class which is going on, and we have very small window in between to start your class. So we don't have good time, but I do know that Naveen Saba always tries to log in before 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and she does do zikr. If you are joining in the evening classes, or if you listen to the zikr audio on the group Naveen Saba shares, it is all zikr which is done before the classes. So every class starts with zikr, 30 minutes, and then we study ilm because it is part and parcel. We need ilm and ibadat both together. So when we do zikr and then we start the class, so our hearts are melted, our minds are open, and we are receiving it. So do listen to those recordings and then learn by doing zikr. You got to say it so you can hear it. So your pronunciation is beautiful because our language is not Arabic. We all have different languages. So we need to learn those zikr, and that practice will bring humility within us, inshallah. Ji,
Friends can unmute if you have any question.
Niamat, I have a question.
ji.
So, when you were discussing the Quranic ayat, the 104, I think, yes, 104 to 7, you say that it's only those who recognize the Imam and have done ibadat in a physical body. So, does that mean that if we don't recognize the Imam, and we pass away, so we don't have a physical body, there is no hope to rise, to spiritually progress?
Very good question and very important question. There is one zikr, and it is related to what you are saying, and that is La taqnatu min rahmatillah. There is no despair in His mercy. There is always hope. There is always hope. The difference is that when we do not have physical body, the accounts are different. For example, let me first explain and then I'll tell you what is that hope. Imam in his Farman and Pir in his Ginan, they've taught us that ek ka sawala. If we say Ya Ali, immediately that Ya Ali, when it is said with understanding, recognition, realization, Giryazari, connection, when we say one Ya Ali, it is multiplied by 125,000 times. So how much is it our saving account? 125,000 times. There, because the Batni eyes are open, one will be equal to one only. There is a timeline. It's much longer. Why this change, this difference? Is Allah being not merciful? Why is He doing that? In this physical world, tell me, if we just want to do classes all the time, just do Giryazari, just do Zikr, can we do that? No. We have to take care of our families. We have to go to work. We have to pay our bills. We have to take care of our worldly duties. That is why, because those mu'mineen who do live the worldly life and do this, that is why it is ek ka sawala. Because it is not easy. It is not easy to do this in the physical lifetime. That is why in our tariqah, it is not permitted to not marry or to become monk. We don't do that. We have to live our physical life with best of our abilities, take responsibilities, work. Those who become like Buddhist or monk, they will not even work. They will go beg for food. No, we are expected to work hard, make our living, and Imam wants us to live in good houses, wear good clothes, seek health care, live healthy, comfortable physical life. With that, do not forget your spiritual life. And that is why it is ek ka sawal. Otherwise, it would have been easy. What is the test then? Anybody who wants recognition can get to it. No, it's not. Recognition is the raz, the secret of Imam. It is not easily available to everybody. For that, one has to do riyazat ibadat. Like, for example, if children in the physical world are not given education, they are taught to just go beg and eat whatever. They will never have any comfort in the physical life. They will have no status in the physical life because they've not learned to work hard, and they'll be okay. Versus those children who are taught, no, go to school, wake up early, study, do homework, do this. Our children live a very hard life because that's what Imam's expectations are. Meritocratic society. So we have put all the focus of meritocracy in the physical world. But meritocratic principle does not only apply to the physical world. It does apply to the spiritual world. So yes, our children work very hard and they grow physically and they become successful. And Imam is very proud. We are very happy that we are living comfortable physical life. Imam is very happy. Why? There's a key to that too. I wonder if there is a Maslow's hierarchy that you got to have first food in your belly. You got to have roof. You got to have all these which we need physically. Then only you can get to the self-actualization. If someone is hungry and you tell them, no, you do zikr. Someone is not living comfortable life, not having clothes or physically ill, cannot go to the doctor. That is why when Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah, when we were there in subcontinent, because we are Indo-Pak Jamaat, Imam said, no, you got to work hard. You need to go to school. You study, get good jobs, and then learn and grow. And then Imam started to talk about Isme Azam. He started giving Isme Azam. And he said, do bandagi. There is a progress step by step. Physical development, then there's a spiritual development too. Don't forget that, we will not be asked about our spirituality, about our soul. We will be judged with our material fulfillment of duties and our spiritual fulfillment of duties. What happens to us because we live in the physical world, have physical life, we focus only on this and we forget that. So definitely there is a hope. But it is important to realize that we can get to salvation. It is possible because Imam is not deceiving us or tricking us or testing us and not rewarding us. No, he's not doing that. We need to understand. It is possible during our lifetime if we are sincere seekers. Ji.
Subhanallah, Subhanallah. Any other questions, friends? Please unmute. We have comments about session was amazing, connecting with Farmans and Quran. This reinforces the content. So, Allah bless you. That was wonderful.
Amen.
Friends, thank you, Niamat Saiba. Thank you, Yali Madad friends. Yali Madad.
Yali Madad, Yali Madad.
Yali
Yali
Madad.
Madad, Niamat
Thank
Saiba,
you.
Yali Madad.
Naveen
Thank you,
Saiba,
Madam.
Yali Madad.
Yali Madad, Yali Madad.
Yali Madad.
ओके मौला दीन दुनिया में सुखी सलामत आबाद रखे सेवा कबूल करे सेवादारियों की
Ameen. Yali Madad, Yali Madad.